Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, yes. It has been a very interesting Wednesday. A Wednesday where demonstrations were held across the country, including even in some areas that are considered a William Ruto strongholds. About 1 day ago, Professor Kindiki and William Ruto issued a very strong warning against the demonstrations. And in fact, Kindiki made it very clear that he will not allow any demonstration in Kenya soil. Listen to this before we continue.
Siku ya Ijumaa kulikuwa na watu wa siasa wamefanya kile waliita maandamano. Nataka niwahakikishie hatutakubali tena katika mchanga wa Kenya maandamano ya kuvuruga watu, kuua watu na kuharibu biashara za watu. We will not allow. We will not allow. Mesikia kuna watu wamesema story nyingi kule. Sijui vile watafanya Jumatano. Mukuje asubuhi tukutane. Those extreme ideas that when you disagree on a political issue, you cause mayhem, you hurt people, you close businesses, you close public highways, you uproot, facilities. That culture must stop. And we are going to deal with you very firmly, decisively, and with finality. Muzijaribu hiyo maneno. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Tuachilie hao watu waharibu nchi yetu.
Yes. The aim of that warning was to sell fear to the demonstrators so that they could not stand out for the demonstrations. That was the strategy by Kenya Kwanza government. They wanted to sell that fear to Kenyans. But today, demonstrations were done across the country. In fact, Kenyans stand out today in their thousands, more than in any other demonstration before. And even including in areas that were never expected that could demonstrate. They all turned out for the demonstrations. Look at what happened on the mountain.
Wewe ni Sakayo, hata kama wewe ni Sakayo, umepanda juu ya mti, haki ya Mungu utasuka. Na ukikatalia juu, tutasukua pawaso, tukate, mambo kanyange chini. Bei ya unga nimesema, iko juu kuliko sufuria. Bei ya unga, itasuka lini? Sabuni, iko na bei kali kuliko karai, ili wanaogea mwaka mzima. Sasa hii serikali, yani ulituambia ni bottom up. Tuanze kunyanyasa mwananchi wa kawaida, tukifikia wale watu wako juu, mwananchi
Transport. And infrastructure.
Yes. So the professor's warnings were never heeded by the people, and not only by the people, but even on the mountain. Kenyans still went ahead and demonstrated. Upon Kithure Kindiki making those remarks warning against the demonstrators, I did make it very clear that Kithure Kindiki was denting his image. Because if you look at the leaders in Kenya Kwanza government, it's only Kithure Kindiki who has been coming out as a little bit sober. Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua, members of parliament supporting them, the CSS, the principal secretaries, they are all not sober. But Kithure Kindiki was coming out as a little bit sober compared to those other leaders. But those remarks by Kithure Kindiki changed all that, tainted his image as a sober leader, and exposed him just as another leader, just like Ruto or Rigathi or Moses Kuria. And if you look at this government, Kenya Kwanza's government, and more so Rigathi and Kithure Kindiki, when the demonstration started, Rigathi was the one coming out to issue warnings. He was the face of aggression of Kenya Kwanza government. But of late he has been a little bit silent. A confirmation that all his threats have not worked. And now you are seeing Kithure Kindiki also coming up. And just as Rigathi has failed, Ruto's warnings have also failed. Kithure's warnings also clearly failed today. What does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? The first thing coming out very clearly, this government is very green and very clueless on how to handle the current political situation in the country. Ruto is clearly not enjoying that support from the people. It appears the scales have tilted very unfavorably to him. In a scale of 1 to 10, the approval rating William Ruto can get, if you were to do a proper scientific survey, is less than 3%. Yes, is less than 3%. Ruto has grown very unpopular, and that's why he's not able to contain the political situation currently in the country. I never saw Raila today going out the way he normally does, going out to meet the people. But even without Raila doing that, the demonstrations were across the country. Raila was not there, but the people themselves still turned out in their thousands. That can mean that this war is no longer about Raila Odinga. The people have realized that it is them who are suffering. Raila Odinga is not suffering. Raila is a rich individual, and even if Unga was to be 50,000 per 2 kg pack, Raila will still manage that. So Raila will not go hungry because of the harsh economic times. It's the people who are feeling that pinch. So I'm seeing the people have realized that. They have realized that. So they are seeing this as their fight, not Raila Odinga's fight. That's why they came out in their thousands across the country to show their disapproval of William Ruto's government. And that only means that William Ruto has lost favor with millions of Kenyans. And in the event the online signature collection by Azimio also succeeds, then it will put William Ruto in a very precarious situation where he will be seen as a minority president. And the moment Azimio manages to even collect 15 million signatures, then anything can happen. Kenya will be in some uncharted waters where anything can happen. Anybody can move to court and you never know what can come from the court. Because if you go through the constitution gives Kenyans that power to exercise their rights directly or through their elected representatives. The moment Kenyans exercise that right and they say they don't want William Ruto, then I think that should be taken as the sovereign will of the people. So it's some uncharted waters which will present a very dangerous position for William Ruto and his team. And now back to the protests and the demonstrations. That's the way to go. That's the strategy that going forward Azimio should be adopting. Raila's words, in my honest opinion, should be just to direct the people or to tell them that on this specific day, we will be going for demonstrations. I think that's enough now. Raila should not even be going to the streets because the war is the people's. It's not Raila Odinga's war. And because he's a national leader, if he talks Kenyans, all Kenyans will listen to him. What he ought to be doing is just to give the people directions that it's on Friday or Thursday. Let the people fight their own battles, which they did successfully today. So let William Ruto and his police officers battle with Kenyans on the ground. Let him and his askaris battle it out with Kenyans on the ground. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. But in case you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. And to our fans and subscribers here, I'm very much humble, very grateful for the kind of support you're giving me here. Any other person who wants to support us, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through that number. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya.